Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my Star Wars Celebration Day 1 recap video. We are going to be discussing and talking about everything that was just announced at Star Wars Celebration today. There's loads of news and official announcements and tons to look forward to in the future of Star Wars. Let's hop into it. I'd like to quickly go ahead and mention that I will be covering everything in today's video and all the different announcements more in depth here in future separate videos here on the channel, talking about and discussing about everything in more detail in separate future videos here on the channel. So hit the subscribe button and join us here today. We have crazy announcements for both Disney Plus and official movies coming from Lucasfilm and for Star Wars in the near future. That being said, let's go ahead and start out with the first one, that there being the Ahsoka trailer. I recently also came out with my official kind of raw reaction initial thoughts video here on the channel. You guys can check that out as well. Ahsoka looks beyond amazing, telling from its trailer let alone. This show is going to be the next big Star Wars live action show on Disney Plus coming out a little bit later this year. We have official confirmation that it will be coming out in August sometime. It could be the very beginning of August, it could be the very end of August. Although I'd like to quickly mention that I highly doubt that it will be pushed back because of what we've seen for Marvel's Loki Season 2. If for anything, they pushed back Loki Season 2 in order to get the Ahsoka show out a little bit earlier, and so that they wouldn't have to deal with anything overlapping from any of their major franchises, being Star Wars and Marvel from Disney. So the Ahsoka trailer, as I was discussing and talking about, was beyond amazing. I'll have a full breakdown video regarding all the Easter eggs and things that you might have missed throughout that trailer here on the channel a little bit later, so stay on the lookout for that by hitting the subscribe button and that notification bell. Our next big announcement here, seen at Star Wars Celebration Day 1 of 2023, was apparently the Acolyte trailer was actually shown at Star Wars Celebration exclusively to the attendees. Now, unlike the Ahsoka trailer, this wasn't shown officially or put out publicly online for everybody to see and discuss, although of course it had been leaked. I'll have it in discussing a little bit more about it in a separate future video here on the channel, as I had mentioned earlier, talking more about it. We also got a lot of insights from the cast and crew discussing and talking about the show at Star Wars Celebration, about like what it was like to work on the show, what we can anticipate to see for this show here overall as well. We know that filming is underway and that it is going to be coming out next year, 2024, with a brand new updated official logo for the show as well. So I'm beyond excited for the Acolyte. They look like they've put a lot of care into it, and what I've heard about the overall trailer itself, like description wise, is that it looks a lot like Andor. Like, the show looks very high quality. Now, a couple of months ago, recalling back to that here on the channel, we actually had not official, but leaked images for the Acolyte show, some behind the scenes, and that had been leaked around there, and to the regards of many different alien creatures and different characters that we're going to be seeing in the show, and all of them are practical, of course, so they all look really amazing. And they're also using like a practical effect there for the set there as well, like an actual set, rather than using a lot of the volume, or known as stagecraft, which is just like basically big green screens that are like giant TV screens that are always running. They were used a lot for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and a lot throughout the Mandalorian shows and Mandoverse shows there as well. Now, before we go ahead and discuss more about the actual Star Wars movies that had been announced here, because those are beyond exciting, you guys are going to want to hear about that, let's go ahead and talk about another beloved Star Wars Disney Plus show, that there being Andor Season 2. We have an official update from it. We got an official insight look from the cast and crew that had been working on the show here. Filming, as they had mentioned, is just about halfway done, and as we have been knowing here from the showrunner Tony Gilroy himself, who's the writer and the director of both seasons of Andor, the Andor show will be coming out next year, 2024, so it definitely seems to be coming along quite well. And of course, like Season 1, it's going to be using a lot of high quality and practical uses of effects and actual sets and everything like that there as well. That is no hate or anything, or no disregard to what the stagecraft and volume technology is capable of, that there as well, to which respective shows that have used it look really amazing as well. And also, similar to what we saw for the Acolyte, apparently the Acolyte trailer had been shown exclusively to attendees, as I had mentioned. The Andor Season 2 first teaser trailer, first look, had actually been shown exclusively to attendees as well, and similar to the Acolyte trailer there as well, it had actually been leaked. People had filmed it, of course. This is something that I will be discussing in further detail later here on the channel, so all the more reason to hit that subscribe button and join us here today. Nonetheless, I'm beyond hyped for the Andor show Season 2, and one last tidbit that I do know here about it is that actually Kino Loy and his actor Andy Serkis had actually been present at the panelings and talking at Star Wars Wars Celebration and everything like that, which is really cool. And seeing that he was actually at Star Wars Celebration. Of course, Andy Serkis is very involved with Star Wars, playing two very beloved Star Wars characters, being Kino Loy from the Andor show, and then also playing the motion capture for Snoke in The Last Jedi. But I'm going to go ahead and throw out that little bit of a theory that Kino Loy lives and that we will see him in Season 2. Fingers crossed. I would love to see something along that. Now, finally, for wrapping up our new announcements for the Disney Plus side of things before we talk about the movies from Star Wars Celebration, is that Skeleton Crew had an official announcement, an inside look at its new cast and crew that had been officially revealed and announced and everything like that from and for the show here. Filming is still currently just about underway, as we know, and as we also know is that the official trailer had actually been exclusively shown to attendees that were at Star Wars Celebration. Of course, as from what I've heard, is that this one has a little bit of a description. I haven't seen this one leak anywhere, but if it does, we will be sure to cover it and talk about more about it here on the channel, of course. So that wraps up everything on the side for Disney Plus and their Star Wars shows. The Ahsoka trailer and/or Season 2 update, as filming is halfway through and is looking for a 2024 release date there, and also had shown a trailer and an exclusive tidbit there. Same thing for the Acolyte, an update and the trailer shown exclusively there, and same thing for Skeleton Crew, an update there and an official teaser and trailer shown there as well. So Disney Plus side of things is looking great, beyond amazing. We can for sure definitely tell that these shows are all confirmed to be really going in full steam ahead and everything like that there, because they have the trailers available and that they really are beginning to ramp up, promoting and marketing for those shows, of course, for when their time does come here. Let's talk about the movies. The movies is where Star Wars has really been struggling recently. Mostly, this is something that we've seen time in and time out recently for nearly the last 3+ years, unfortunately, regarding their Star Wars movies and Lucasfilm's Star Wars movies here overall, is that they officially will go ahead and announcements like directors, what those movies might be a little bit about here. Nonetheless, it still is very exciting to think about and learn about there and actually officially have that come from Lucasfilm and everything like that. But it is very unfortunate on the side of things that none of those previously in the previous 3+ years, which has been 10+ projects at this point to the regards of Star Wars movies, haven't ever made it through. They've never gone anywhere or anything like that. They always seem to get canceled, and just never really get off the ground or anything like that. Anyway, let's keep an open eye out. Let's be a little bit hopeful for the Star Wars movies. Let's go ahead and start out with James Mangold, who is the director and writer for MCU's Logan movie and also had recently done the Ford vs. Ferrari movie, so he definitely has some really awesome movies underneath his belt here to be directing and writing a Star Wars movie that would be set in what's called the Dawn of Jedi kind of era here. Now, this here is where it all really begins. It's not with the Old Republic, it's not with the High Republic, it's before all of that, set 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga and anything, learning about the very first Jedi and the coming and the creation of the first Jedi Order. This movie has a lot of potential. James Mangold is a phenomenal director and writer, as I had mentioned. He's previously done the Logan movie, Ford vs. Ferrari, so of course I'm very, very hopeful for this one. Next up, we have a Daisy Ridley returning as Rey Skywalker or Palpatine. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Movie returning with the Disney Plus's Miss Marvel director and writer Charmine Chaboy. I'm apologetic, of course, if I mispronounced her name there, but just telling and seeing that she's already previously worked with Disney and on their Marvel projects inside of things, and seeing that she would helm a Star Wars movie here and have the return of Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine. Yes, you guys are hearing that correctly. This isn't a joke. This here movie would be set 15 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, after the sequel trilogy, learning about a brand new Jedi Order. I am speechless. Oh my goodness, this sounds insane. Daisy Ridley made an appearance at Star Wars Celebration on stage, talking and discussing a little bit about this, how excited she is to actually come back, and of course this is something that we have discussed here and out on the channel a little bit off and on here into the regards of Daisy Ridley making a return sometime in the future, exploring outside of realms thing here for the continuation outside of the sequel trilogy, which is something that's very, very exciting. Now lastly, let's talk about the final and last Star Wars movie that had been announced today, that there would be from Dave Filoni himself. If you weren't already speechless, you should be now. Dave Filoni himself, the writer, the creator of the Mandoverse and the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated show, Star Wars Rebels, and everything like that. Of course, Dave Filoni has done show after show after show after show for Star Wars. They've all been beyond phenomenal, for the most part. We don't talk about Star Wars Resistance. But anyway, having Dave Filoni actually direct and make a Star Wars movie that is furthermore, is actually within the Mandoverse. This is something that we've discussed discussed time in and time out here on the channel into the regards of some type of Mandalorian movie, some type of Mandoverse movie, and we finally have it finally like announced. If you ask me, if for anything, this one would be the most likely Star Wars movie, if for anything, out of 3 of these to actually go forward and actually happen. Dave Filoni is like a sticky booger when it comes to Star Wars. Like, he just has such a passion for it. So to see a Star Wars movie coming from him is definitely in good hands, and for what we could see and expect to see from that movie would be into the regards of a Mandoverse movie. As I had spoken about, this is being described as like a quote-unquote culmination of everything from the Mandoverse, kind of like an Avengers Endgame. It would be like the big finale of the Mandoverse. It's an unfortunate and kind of like saddening thing to think about, but the Mandoverse still has so much ahead of it, with even Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka having multiple seasons, Book of Boba having more seasons, and more Mandalorian seasons. This here has been everything that's been announced at Star Wars Celebration Day 1 2023, and its overall recap here of the Disney Plus shows for the Ahsoka trailer officially being shown and put out there, the Andor Season 2 update, and filming halfway is just about done, coming to 2024 with an exclusive teaser and trailer shown at Star Wars Celebration attendees, an exclusive and update look for Star Wars The Acolyte, and an exclusive look at their trailer there for Star Wars Celebration attendees. Of course, I'm beyond jealous for that. It's taking place in London in the UK. I really wouldn't have a chance of going to that, being in the United States here. Anyway, Skeleton Crew having an exclusive look at their trailer and update at their overall show, and then all of these crazy Star Wars movies. Dave Filoni having a movie, James Mangold having a movie, and the return of Daisy Ridley in a Star Wars movie set 15 years after the events of the sequel trilogy. Insane stuff. Go digest it, go freak out, go scream at a wall or something. This is insane, and this is only day 1. We have so much more to come here in the future for Star Wars and for Star Wars Celebration regarding their announcements and everything like that. We have at least, I think, 2 more days for their announcements here, so it's all the more reason to hit the subscribe button and join us here on the channel. As I had also mentioned, we're going to be discussing and talking about more and all of these announcements just from today, let alone here on the channel in the coming next couple of days and weeks here, so hit the subscribe button. You guys aren't going to want to miss any of that. It is some insane stuff for Star Wars. It is an insane time to be a Star Wars fan. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I am beyond excited to hear what everybody has to say here. What are you guys all looking forward to most into the regards of their movies, for their Disney Plus shows, and everything like that? I would love to hear what you guys all think, what you guys are all hoping for as well. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.